ladies and Mental Gen, and welcome to something different today. As it is the end of the year, I figured it might be a good time to look back at 2016 and see how good it was for World of Tanks or how bad it was, like 2015. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Probably the worst year in World of Tanks history regarding all the changes, but as for 2016, I guess it was not that bad. There were some bad changes, like there always are with wargaming, but most of the stuff was actually pretty okay. Anyways, let's jump in with 9.14. So the first patch, 9.14, was released in March, and it probably was the biggest patch of all the year just because of the physics addition, well, the improved physics addition to the game. In its initial stage, it was rather poor. I mean, it was, you could see the idea what they were going for, but the execution was terrible. Pretty much how most things go with wargaming. The initial things that they put into the game have some potential, but they're just implemented terribly, like siege mode. Anyways, the physics were, in general, a step up, but they needed a lot of fixing. It took around half of the year to get them where they're actually kind of okay, and definitely better than the ones before they got added as well. You got the ability now to flip and stuff like that as well, and that had been tweaked so where you don't flip accidentally all that much anymore, which is cool. The second theme of the year was improving sound, improving in quotes, because it literally, they fucked around with the sound in pretty much every patch. I think the sound before this was probably the best because it was the most intuitive. Jesus, English. But the sound engine that we have now after 9.17 is pretty decent as well. So I guess, you know, over the year the sounds have improved, but the general improvement in every patch was kind of a pain in the ass. So the third common thing among 2016 is phasing out the need of an XVM mod, unless you're an XVM sniping cunt. But yeah, generally adding a lot of features from the XVM to the game, like, you know, we started off with the view range circles and all that shit on the mini-map, and then we went along with pretty much every other useful feature from the XVM added to the game, apart from the stats. So the next common theme of 2016 is HD models in fuck knows what order, fuck knows who makes them, fuck knows how the fuck did this art sourcing got done, and fuck knows why the Sexton 2 is in HD but the Batchet isn't still. Also with these HD models we got some fucking ridiculous buffs like to the IS-6, let's remove weak spots, cause fuck aiming for weak spots. Press 2 twice to pay wargaming money, comrade. Yeah, I mean, this kind of continued from 2015 with an IS-3 buff. They needed to make IS-6 better clearly as well. So yeah, it's a kind of a bummer, and generally this HD outsourcing has been done terribly. Anyways, next up we have a reworked Sacred Valley. Not too bad of a map anymore. It's not really my favorite, but it's not too bad. And then this is just makes me laugh. It improved following maps or compliance with improved vehicle movement physics. So pretty much what they're saying, they improved maps so you cannot go to places where you're not supposed to go. And then you see Arctic region in there. And then when you look around now, when you see fucking people around on the cliffs next to the, what was it, the North Cap Circle? I have no idea how that map looked actually. Well, anyways, one of the cap circles who has the cliffs next to it is super easy to drive up on and just shit on everybody. And there's a lot of positions on a lot of maps that need fixing in that sense as well. Still in the game, even though they claim that they fixed it in March. Alright, that probably covers the most important parts about this patch, so let's move on to the next one. So 9.15 came out in May, which is rather quick about, well, they were rather quick about it. They didn't really fuck around there. That was kind of cool. And mainly, well, this patch had two sides of it. First of all, we had a lot of, like, quality of life improvements in general, like, you know, simplistic tech tree stuff. I don't really use it, but you know, you get a better tutorial and shit like that. Like capture bar as well added the info about how many people are capping and how long it's gonna take. That is a very nice change as well, which further pushed XVM out of actually being necessary. And yeah, there's a lot of general fixes and improvement of life quality for, you know, every player. Full circle was added as well, which is nice. I still use that thing. More zoom, which I don't use, but some people do, and you don't need mods for it now as well, which is nice. And then there was the personal missions. The travesty from 2015 had to be fixed, and they did kind of change it to the better. There's still like absolutely retarded mission designs there, but it used to be worse, so you know, can't be too upset about that, I guess. Other than that, well, thanks have been trying to improve the engine, and they did pretty good job in this patch. And this FPS increase was quite noticeable. I mean, now if you have a reasonably if you have a top of the line PC, you get the 120 frames per second, and before that, it was kind of never gonna happen kind of thing. So yeah, graphically, well, things has improved, and the engine has become easier to run for more than just, you know, your top of the range PCs. Next up, we have the Waffentrager E100. The travesty of E100 was removed, and in its place was implemented the Gorilla 15. While I do believe that the Gorilla 15 is a bit too good, but the Waffentrager E100 was just game-breaking and a really, really poor design that just led to, you know, shitty games. So, you know, I really don't like what the Gorilla 15 is doing to the game too much, but the Waffentrager was way worse. The only way they could have fixed the Waffentrager if they removed the 128 from it and made the people go around the dirt with a 15 centimeter. That was kind of fun, and I kind of missed that. But at the same time, I can see definitely why they removed it. And then the next part of this patch was a lot of buffs and nerfs, mainly premium tank buffs. Some nerfs as well. The T-22 got nerfed into the ground, so all the riggers could go fuck themselves. That was quite cute. I really enjoyed that. So, and again, we get 19 absolutely random vehicles reworked in HD, like, you know, the famous Panzer Kampfwagen 30AT again before Batchet and the E50M. Good stuff, wargaming. I wonder, was this the patch where T110E5 got... No, it's not the patch where T110E5 got buffed. This is the patch where a lot of TDs got an HD buff, so now you can get farmed for 1500 hit points in your 30 instead of 1300, so that was pretty cool. And again, adjusted landscape following maps prevent vehicles from driving into zones where they're not supposed to be passable. Again, they have not done a very good job, especially in Sacred Valley. That map is fucking atrocious now. Anyways, let's move on to 9.16. So the next patch took wargaming a while. This was released in October. 9.16 came with general improvement of life quality once again for people not using mods. And there was, what else was here? Some sound improvement, some technical stuff, and, you know, some new vehicles and maps as per usual. The notable features of this patch is finally we get a carousel mode, carousel in the garage, so we can have 2 rows of tanks. So if you have shitload of tanks, it was way easier to navigate between them, which is nice. Cross-team battle chat was disabled. Kind of sad, because seeing some salty messages in the chat always made my day better, but that is gone now, so cry every time. But in general, that's like pretty useless change. I mean, I can see why they did it, to reduce the toxicity in the game, and I mean, to an extent it kind of worked. I mean, don't really get people calling you hacker noob in game. You just get PM'd after the game and get called hacker noob, which is of course a great improvement. What else changed? This is really nice thing that happened in 9.16. Visibility system delay got reduced to pretty much minimum now, and that was really improved. This probably is something that people will overlook, but this really improved the world of tanks significantly, and definitely something worth mentioning about this patch. Some clan functionality that I don't give a fuck got changed as well. And ability to compare vehicles in garage. Done really poorly, but at least it was implemented in the game. So why done poorly? So first of all, there's like the stats are from 2, which is kind of annoying. I kind of want to see the average value, but that's not really the biggest deal. The biggest deal is that obviously you don't see any of the soft stats or any of the wargaming bullshit there. So it's quite irrelevant to compare the mobility of couple of tanks if you can't see the soft stats, right? So, you know, this could have been done better, like everything else wargaming is pretty much done in their lives. Could have been done better, but I guess it's nice that it's in the game. Just again, then again, it can be just flat out misleading. Plus, they use those retarded values like firepower of 571. What the fuck does that mean? Fuck you, nobody knows. What else do we have here? Some more of the XVM functionality brought into the game, which is nice. And what else do we have here? Sound upgrade again. Not really the first time this year, but this one actually made it quite a bit better. It's easier to say for how much damage and who the fuck is shooting you. Plus, added the notifications on the screen helped as well. Plus, you get a damage log and dispatch as well, which was nice. What else do we got? We got technical improvements of the engine. Once again, nothing really too important here. I don't know what the fuck this is because the scaling doesn't work in World of Tanks, so you have to look at my shitty 1440p scaling. But yeah, apparently they did this. I don't know what the fuck was that, but you know, apparently it happened. What else do we have here? You have a T95 Chieftain and a AMX M4 MLE49 plus the Swedish Tier 6 Premium Medium, whose name I'm not even going to bother to pronounce, added to the game. Probably the worst part about this year is these power creep premiums and, you know, generally buffing of tanks that fucking didn't need buffing, like the IS-6. And what else do we have? This tank became more profitable, but that's kind of irrelevant because it's still not a good money maker because it costs too much. And then we have some random tanks added to HD as well. Of course, most importantly, the Chiri. Very important. Also, S51 written with C because, hey, we are from Russia. Also, we got Paris added to the game. Not really the greatest map, but not really the highway either. So, you know, it's not too bad. One side of the map is kind of useless, but then again... but at least one side of the map is kind of playable, unlike on some other maps. So, a lot of other maps got fixed, but then again, not enough, as I mentioned before. But yeah, this was pretty much 9.16. Generally, a quality of life improvements here, and that is always nice, with some added premiums and stuff as well. Anyways, let's move on to the last patch, the 9.17. Alright, so the last patch, 9.17, hit us in December. Obviously, the biggest features of this were the Swedish tanks and the changes of a lot of premiums. So, first of all, the Swedish tanks, I mean, these got introduced in the usual wargaming fashion where they make the tier 10s rather good or / OP. Definitely gonna be seeing these in some clan play as well, I imagine. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know nothing about those, but it's very likely that these tanks are just gonna get grinded just to be played there, and it is actually likely that they're gonna get nerfed next year as well, especially the tier 9 and 10. As for TDs and the siege mode, I mean... they wanted to reduce the remove overmatch mechanics from the game, but they luckily didn't go for it. Instead, we have these Swedish TDs that are like E25s pretty much in every tier. The tier 9 is the only one with some armor. The tier 10 again has no armor, but the tier 10 is actually the best tank in the line. The siege mode in general I don't think is a very good, clever or interesting mechanic in itself, especially because you don't get direct control of your suspension, which is rather annoying. I would really love to have direct controls for elevating and lowering my hull, and would make it angling your armor way easier than it is now, with looking up and down like an idiot while trying to, you know, control your suspension. Anyways, next up we have again sound improvements, and the other big thing about this patch were a lot of tanks, a lot of premium tanks got buffed. Most notably the M4 Rev kind of puts it on the map for a premium tank, but again, with the 3 new premiums added this year, the Scorpion, the Patriot, and the Liberty, those are without a competition the best premium tanks in the game, and arguably the best tier 8s in the game as well, especially the Patriot. Well, then again, the Liberty and Patriot is kind of up to your preference. But yeah, a lot of premium tank buffs. And some of the French autoloader buffs, which might indicate that the Swedish tanks might actually not get nerfed next year as well. And the biggest part of this patch that I didn't actually see here is finally you have borderless window mode available for everybody that has more than one screen. Makes your life so much fucking better. So that is like the best change of the year. And generally, to sum up 2016, I mean, it wasn't that bad. We kind of pushed out the necessity of XVM. Again, the only reason to run XVM if you're an XVM sniping asshole, which I try not to be, so I would recommend you not to be that guy as well. I just drop XVM, fuck that shit, and yeah, other than that, we have had some buffs to tanks that were not necessary, like the IS-6, and we had the power creep premiums. But other than that, the year in general was rather positive, which is kind of weird to say. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my mumbling here for almost 20 minutes about some text on the screen, and I'll see you guys next year. Have a good one.